Hi, what's up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Kat, and today we're going to be continuing some of the mid-year content I've been doing and going over 10 series I really want to finish before this year's over. So these are all series that I physically own, either a few or all of it, and there's a big mix between series I've started and series that I'm in the process of reading. To be honest, the majority of them skew more towards things I have not even started, but in keeping in line with my main goal of this year, which was to read down my physical TBR, we are going to read as much of these as possible, and we are going to aim to finish all of the series basically that I own. So I hope you guys are ready. I hope you're excited, and let's dive into looking at all of these books. So the first one is a huge chunker, which is Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 4 in Stormlight Archives, and I've read all of the other installations up to this point, but this is just the last one that's outstanding, and I have mildly been putting off reading it just because it is so long and I know it's going to take me quite a while to read. I think when I read Overhanger, it took me about 3 weeks, and I just know what an intense time and mental commitment it's going to be to read this, so I'm a little intimidated, but I am incredibly excited. I would say Stormlight Archives is probably my favorite series I've ever read. Brandon Sanderson's my favorite author, so I'm really excited to get to it. It's just a little intimidating, but this is one that no matter what, I need to finish this by the end of the year, and I'm really excited for it. So next up, I have the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown. I've read books 1 and 2 at this point, which are Red Rising and Golden Sun. But to start on book 3, Morning Star, literally went any day now. But I also own books 4 and 5. Book 6 recently came out, so I'm feeling very motivated to get caught up in this series and read all of the books, read everything that I have on my shelf. So a bit about this. We're following a futuristic world where there's basically different casts of people, and they are all assigned a color, and their color is basically just their place in society. We follow Darrow, a red, which is the lowest of the low, and he has spent his entire life being told that he's working on terraforming Mars, but something happens and he discovers that no, Mars had been terraformed hundreds of years ago, but his people were kept in ignorance to keep mining this resources that all of the other people use. So he discovers that they've basically been held in slavery and have nothing in life, and then from there he gets involved in this huge plot to infiltrate the Golds, who are the head of the world, and kind of bringing them down from within. Books 1 and 2 both were 5 stars. Honestly, some of the most brutal military, just really intense battles that I've ever read, and just so heart-wrenching. The characters are amazing. Everything about it is so good, and I really cannot wait to finish the series right now. I'm feeling so motivated to go through it and absolutely loving every moment of it. Next up, I have Wheel of Time. So this is just a random one that I own from it, but I am currently on book 6 of 13, and I've been doing a reread. So I have previously read all of the books except for the last one, and I'm challenging myself this year to reread all of them and actually finish off the series for once, so I know what happens, because I am notoriously bad at not finishing series or getting to the very last book and just not going further. So I'm currently on book 6, absolutely loving this reread. The only thing is I kind of need to ramp up my speed if I do want to get through all of the books by the end of the year, but it's still fantastic, and I'm really excited to keep going, because just being back in this world has been so fantastic, and it's really reminding me, it's almost like a comfort read for me at this point, because I read it originally when I was a teenager, and it's just bringing back all of these memories as well. So yeah, I have 7-ish books left in this, and I'm really hopeful that I'll actually be able to finish it. Then The Rune of Kings by Jen Lyons. I don't know a lot about this one. I know that it is more of a slower paced fantasy world that is somebody telling their life story, I believe. And I don't know a crazy amount about it, but I do own books 1, 2, and 3. So I really want to give it a try and see what I feel. And I've seen mixed reviews. A lot of people say book 1's fantastic. The other books in the series get a little iffy, but I'm really excited to see what I think. Really hoping that I actually like this series, because especially considering that I bought three installations in it before giving it a try. So The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This again, I believe, is a very militaristic, very intense and brutal type of book, and I'm a little intimidated because I do hear that it is very intense and very heart-wrenching at times. But after reading Babel by R.F. Kuang, I feel such a desperate need to read the rest of her books, because Babel was fantastic like it was one of those books that was so smart that it made me feel like I am an absolute idiot, and I am truly excited to see like if that level of writing is similar to what is in the Poppy War, because it was truly probably one of the best written books I've ever read, and one that I just like, it was a very slow read for me because I kept having to read it and sit back and reflect on what I was reading, and I'm kind of hoping that this is going to be the exact same thing. So Jade City by Fonda Lee. This is, I think, more of an urban fantasy where we're following like almost like different groups of people who are fighting over this resource called jade, which is some type of amplifies magical powers or does something like that. Again, this is ridiculously recommended by so many people, and every single person I've seen who's read it has like raved about how unbelievably good it is. I do have books 1 and 2, so I'm really hoping that I will think similarly. I have a very good feeling that this is going to be one that I might love. Then one that should be relatively quick to read is Daughter of the Moon Goddess, and I've read this and I have its sequel, Heart of the Sun Warrior. So I just have one book to finish off this duology. I absolutely loved Daughter of the Moon Goddess. It was one of my favorite books of last year, so I'm excited to see what book 2 is about, but I'm also a little apprehensive because I don't know if it necessarily will stand up to how much I love this one. But yeah, so this is one I've kind of been putting off because of that I'm a little scared, because I've heard it's one of those sequels that's not necessarily needed perhaps, and not as many people have been giving it great reviews as compared to Daughter of the Moon Goddess, so I'm a little nervous. The Scythe Trilogy by Neil Shusterman. This is, I read the first book years ago and just never finished on the series, but now I have all 3 books, and from what I remember, this is a world where death has essentially been eliminated, and now there are these people who, I guess they're scythes, who basically go around and reap people. So the only way that you can die is basically by random chance, by a reaper decides that it is your time and you have reached the end of your life. So we follow 2 people who are apprenticed to one and are just learning all about this world. I remember it being incredibly fascinating and I absolutely loved it. So I'm really hoping that if I read it again, read the first book and then continue on the series, I'll be feeling something similar. So it is finally time for me to get to the Witcher books. I own the first 3. I want to read the rest of them, especially now with season 3 of The Witcher having come out. You know, I feel like it's the perfect time to watch that and then start reading and really get into that mindset, because I have wanted to read this for so long now. I just keep putting it off because I have a fear that it's going to be like a bit of a drier read or something that's a little bit slower to get into. I don't know why. I haven't read any of these books. I just have this like really bad fear that I'm not going to enjoy it. But I am so excited to get back into the Witcher world, and I do think that this is one where I'm probably going to watch the 3rd season and then just go off that momentum and try to get into the books. But yeah, we follow Gerald, who is basically a monster hunter, and there's this backdrop of a war that's happening in the world as well. And the final series that I'm going to talk about today is Leviathan Wakes by James S. A. Corey. I read the first book, gave it a 5 stars. I own books 2 and 3, and I believe at this point there's 9 that are out. I've been wanting to get back to this series for so long now. I just like haven't been giving myself time to sit down and actually read it. But this is just an epic space opera where Earth has colonized the moon and different planets, and we are starting to see this conspiracy unraveling that is basically pitting the different planets against each other. And we follow a few people who are central to this and are just kind of getting involved in all of this general mystery that's going on and are involved in the war as well. So I'm really excited. I have a feeling that this is going to be a potentially favorite series. I just need to keep going with it, obviously. So there you have it. Those are 10 series that I really want to get to by the end of this year. Some of them I've started. Some of them I have quite a few books to read in them, like a lot. But I think if I really start to prioritize these for the rest of the year, there's actually a chance I could do it. Let's really hope so. I'm going to try to make the last half of 2023 all about reading down my physical TBR. So if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.